Eileen from Bates Photography, and I am super excited to be joined tonight by the guys from the Camera Store TV, Jordan, Jake, and Chris Niccolls. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
How are you guys?
We're doing good tonight. We were just at the store working, and just kind of booked it back here as fast as possible.
We rushed home.
We pulled it off.
We made and we're doing good. We're doing really good.
Perfect. That's awesome. I have to tell you guys, I mean, for anybody that hasn't checked out your channel, and there's over 250,000 subscribers now, so I'm sure everyone has checked out your channel. You guys,
yes. Only 16 people to go.
Oh my gosh, everyone needs to check you guys out. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Anything that anybody needs to know as a beginner photographer, my husband and I, we started out listening any lens review, camera review, and you guys are totally honest, and it seems to be very unbiased, and we really appreciate that as photographers. So thank you so much. How did you start? I mean, this channel is huge. I mean, how did this all begin?
You go ahead.
So I guess we've been doing the show for 7 years now. You probably have a better memory than we do, Eileen. Yep. So if you've watched from the start.
I've been watching for a while.
And Jordan started at the store. I've been there for 14 years, a long time. And he started the store about 7 years ago. And he had a video background. I was teaching, so we decided, why don't we do just like a store tour? And it's horrible, and you can find it online. Don't look for it. It's there. And it was so bad, but we found that we could work well together. We had the skills that we needed to maybe make a show out of it. So we decided to maybe do camera reviews. Yeah, I think we started with a Canon G10 or something.
First one was actually the Panasonic GF1.
Yeah, Panasonic GF1. And we did that in the store. It was terrible, and I think the big change happened when we finally moved out of the store and got on the street.
Yeah, there's so much of people like at a counter or something, like a stage or something like that. So once we actually started shooting on the field, that's when we started to see things.
We knew we didn't want to necessarily do like a behind the desk kind of thing or unboxing. But at the same time, we're lucky because at the store we have so much gear coming in, right? I mean, that's kind of the neat thing about it.
Awesome. Yeah. And so, I mean, having that, well, you guys now, I mean, you get like everything ahead of time. How exciting is that? Just being in love with tech. I mean, to get to preview everything.
It's fortunate. I mean, it really has kind of become a symbiotic relationship because, of course, the manufacturers want press.
Sure.
And of course, because we're at the store, we have early access to some gear. So that helped us out. We get better views when we're the first out. At the same time, if you've just seen the latest Hasselblad X1D video, it can also lead to problems where you choose to be honest and unbiased. Maybe manufacturers don't always want.
There can be a little blowback from that. Yeah, right. There's some manufacturers you might notice you don't see camera reviews early from us as much as some other ones, and you can generally read between the lines as to who we might have offended.
They all say that they respect us and our honest opinions until we say something bad about the camera. But for the majority of our manufacturers, they're very good.
They're very good.
They do help us out, and they do understand that we're going to be honest and maybe say negative things about their product.
Yeah, we've seen kind of a transition where they view us as press now, where maybe when we first got started with the show, we were just considered like a marketing arm of a camera store. And then when bad reviews started coming in, they're like, this isn't what we signed up for. This is not a glowing advertisement. Yeah.
I mean, I just go to YouTube first, and I think so many viewers, I mean, that's what they do. It's like, we don't really, I don't even read reviews so much, online. Like, I know people do a lot of different blogs, and I just go right to YouTube. I'll look something up if I want to see about a lens. Like, I'll go to you guys. Okay, here it is. I'll usually see it. And I appreciated, my husband and I both appreciated like your honesty and everything with the A9. I have it right here. So this was my baby. So I am a little concerned of all the overheating talk right now about the A9. But Sony, I mean, listen, we love our 6500s and 6300s. I mean, we didn't start with the 6000. We actually started with the 6300, and we've been hooked with Sony ever since.
Right. And it's not hard to fall in love with that company, right?
It's true.
You get past the name and you start trying them, and you start to realize what they can do for you.
Yep. Once you stay out of the menus, I jumped from Canon to Sony a while back, and I do think they're, especially in the case of the A9, like that's a camera that needed to happen. That's going to push a lot of stuff forward, you know. Whether or not, you know, that winds up being the perfect camera for one person, it's going to lead to a lot of interesting stuff from every other manufacturer while they scramble to catch up.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool.
Sony's been actually very good to us. And I think a big part of that is they recognize, you know, they're trying to break into the market. They want to get the product out there. They want to start winning people over. So, you know, we're a good press outlet for Canada, at least, and for North America, and then, you know, worldwide now. But one of our first big videos where we actually got out on location was actually back with the NEX 3 and 5.
Yeah, that was, I think, our second video when we got into the field.
Yeah.
So we've kind of been with the E-mount since it wasn't even
really
the E-mount.
before the E-mount.
Yeah,
it was
so
called the NEX
They
mount
were
back
good.
then.
They recognized, like, yeah, YouTube's a big deal. There's a lot of stuff to be got from that.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to see those reviews.
Mhm.
Half the time I watch our videos to find out what's good on the camera because I completely forget what did I say about that?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's Sony's been really good to us, and we've said things about the cameras that are not favorable. But yeah, it's interesting to see how far they push.
Yeah.
Well, I just have seen the leap. I mean, no, everyone says it. There's not a perfect camera right now. I mean, especially while they're working out all of this stuff with mirrorless, and then, you know, the DSLR and kind of the gear wars. It's all kind of silly, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they've really worked hard at, and you can really clearly see it now that they're trying to target DSLR users. So they're like, whatever realm of photography that DSLRs dominate in, we're going to make cameras.
They're like, we're coming for you, yeah.
And it of course works because you have a Sony A9 right there at home.
I mean, I definitely got hooked, and I think a lot of people are nervous for that camera about the price point. For us, it was our first full frame. So we're shooting weddings, and I did not want to shoot a wedding without a second card slot, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that risk. So that kind of sold me on it. We'll see. We just got it in our hands. We'll have to see. I'm optimistic and I'm a little cautious at the same time. I mean, Adorama said you have 30 days, so I'm going to really use these 30 days well.
I think you'll like it, yeah. I mean, it focuses crazy fast. Battery life is better. And I think, you know, even though they're not marketing it towards wedding photographers and event photographers, Jordan and I actually think that's exactly what that camera's fantastic at.
I think it's going to break through in that market in a huge way.
I know they're so big.
That's exciting.
Sports, but you know, a lot of people out there where we live love wildlife, and especially, and of course, event photography. Weddings are big, so I think that's a smart play.
Yeah.
I want to see them target those people more, but yeah, the camera's perfect for it.
Yeah.
You guys, I have to tell you, are hilarious. Like, when your videos come out...
Exactly. Only when we have time to plan. Yeah.
Really, I don't know, because it's not. It's like you're getting all this information from your channel, but at the same time, you're like entertainers, full out like entertaining, and that's hard to be that way. I mean, a lot of people try, and sometimes they fail very miserably. You guys have nailed it, really.
It's largely alcohol fueled, but yeah.
No, I think like every time we do an episode, I'm like, there has to, like I've said to Chris, like there has to be a way to make this fun. Yeah. Like we're just pulling
Honestly,
our hair out sometimes.
We make it fun. It's completely selfish. It's not for you people at home. It is just so that we can get through the day. and then, you know, if a byproduct is everybody else is finding us enjoyable, then that's great. But yeah we just need to stay happy.
Yeah, a lot of the time we kind of go through the policy of like, we'll do 3 for everybody, you know, what's requested and whatever, and then we'll do 1 for us. Yeah. Like once a month, you know, like the bag video we just did would be an example of that, where Chris was like the day before, I want to do a bag video tomorrow. Yeah. And we're like, all right, fine. Yeah. We can push back the GH5 or the A9 for another month.
Which we're very good at doing now. Boy, do we push our videos back? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's, you know, you have to have a life too, and I'm sure all the editing, Jordan, you do all the video editing and everything like that. I mean, all the time that's spent just on location and editing. I mean, we as the viewers, I have to let you know, really do appreciate that, because I can't even imagine the countless hours and long nights that are spent. So
she knows you.
She understands. Someone knows.
Yeah. Very countless.
I mean, that's something we're struggling with right now is, you know, there has been less content coming out recently, and I'm trying to find a balance where it's a little bit more sustainable. because every episode is generally about 6 to 8 hours of post.
Wow.
So, and that's done on my own time after work, typically, sometimes on
He likes
weekends
to
or
do
whatever.
a good job.
Yeah, that's the problem. I
And
need to just.
he likes to cut out a lot of the really funny stuff I say. And just trying to keep it short and informative.
It's a lot of work for me to cut out all the good stuff. Takes me a lot of time because there's just so much of it that he says. So to make him, look,
cuts it all out. Just whatever makes me look like a terrible, selfish, narcissistic human being. We leave that in.
I call that the gold.
Any information we leave that in, but any sort of joy or like, no, cut that out. Yeah.
Well,
that takes a long time.
It is. I mean, it's really. That's why, like YouTube, you can definitely tell. Like, there's channels like ours. We try. My husband and I try our best. We throw a little bit of content out there. We're very, very small. And then there's channels that really are like, you guys are doing it, and you have that backing with fans. And I mean, did you expect to be traveling as much as you're traveling now?
Well, this is something that really just happened in the last year and a half, really.
Yeah,
Since some of the manufacturers, Sony were the first ones to put us kind of on their press circuit. So when there was, magazines invited and stuff like that, we also got the call. But then the great thing about something like that happens is other companies are like, oh, I guess these guys are considered press now.
Yeah.
So that's what brings us to things like Fuji launches, and that's starting to grow more and more.
Exactly.
Which is great for us because, I mean, Calgary, like Alberta is beautiful.
It is.
Calgary
really
is
is
often beautiful.
Yeah,
so it's great to be able, when it's gross and gray and stuff like that, it's like, let's go to Miami for a
Alberta's
week.
beautiful, but we have basically rivers, mountains, and prairies, right?
Yeah.
That's 3 things, so you exhaust those pretty quick, right? That's 3 videos. You put 2 of those or 3 of those into one video, they're all spent, right? So
there's a rodeo once a year. That's about all we got. Yeah.
Going out to other locations has been really nice. Shooting in New York, and we just got back from Japan. That was incredible.
That sounds amazing. Wow.
You're gonna finally get some good photos out of me, and something different. Yeah, I know. So we're excited about that.
And I think it is important. Like when we go out, we go with the purpose of reviewing a camera. So much of the photography that you do is like, oh, let's look at a specific aspect of it. But I think it's always going to be more compelling for people at home when you're like, I'm in Japan. I want to take great pictures and document this, as well as test the technical stuff. And I think people respond to. I mean, you can tell clearly when we go to a location you're excited to shoot. The response from the viewers.
It is more fun to be in a new location. It's exciting. We shot in Germany, and again, there's so much to explore that's different.
So cool.
Now I'm just gonna take pictures of my feet.
Yeah, less pictures of brick walls now. That's
just feet.
Yeah.
There is something that happens with photography, and I guess I would assume videography, that you just want more locations, and even my husband and I, we feel like we've exhausted everything that South Jersey has to offer.
It's South Jersey has
a lot to
offer.
Yeah.
I grew up there as a kid. It's pretty incredible.
Did you really?
I did. Yeah,
I
did.
Gosh.
Just a couple years. Yeah.
Can
but
I,
New York. New York is fun.
We're close to New York. We're close to Philadelphia. Very close to Philadelphia, and it's nice being on the East Coast with a lot. But I do look at some of the footage that you guys, are probably getting tired of the mountains and all that, but that is pretty darn spectacular.
I don't think we'd ever get tired of the mountains. The trouble is it's very tough for us to shoot because we're commercial video.
Yeah.
So permits become an issue very quickly out there. So we can from a distance look at beautiful mountains and be like, God, it would be amazing to be shooting there right now.
We get out there once in a while.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hiking too, so carrying the gear that we carry.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that has to be appreciated is that for 99% of the videos, it's just Jordan and I. Wow. And I tend not to try to carry too much.
You try not to carry anything? Yeah. So I just sweat. Yeah.
So it's tough just having a 2-man crew,
Yeah, in terms of getting to some of those remote locations and stuff like that. But I think you're going to start to see more diverse locations as well because we're lightening our kit in a big way. We just switched over to Panasonic GH5s as opposed to the big Sony cinema cameras.
We love GH5s.
So I don't have to do
I've heard wonderful things about them, Yeah.
So that's going to change the way we shoot in a huge way, I think. In this year, you'll see a lot more, in the field, more moving camera, stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh,
until I get tired again.
It's tough though. One of the things that dictates our videos is, as you said, like what new gear comes out.
Sure.
And we tend to get stuff early, so it's tough. It'd be great if manufacturers spaced it out so there's a new camera every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. It doesn't work. Right? nothing, and then
unless you're Sony, right?
Yeah, unless Sony.
We can always count on new stuff from Sony. Yeah, that we never have to worry about.
So, yeah, it can build up and get pretty hectic sometimes, and we have to pick and choose what cameras we want to do, or what cameras you have to put on the back burner. But yeah, and there's some
stuff that we've had to throw away that I've been, a little disappointed we never looked at. But then, something like right now happens where we have, two medium format cameras, a Sony A9 and a GH5, and all of those demand thorough testing. So
sure.
It can be a little tricky, but it's fun to have access to that stuff.
Now, do you have people recognizing you all the time on the street now?
It does happen. In fact, I get really upset if we go on a vacation or travel and nobody recognizes us.
Yeah. When we were in Japan, Chris was really tense the first 4 days. Like, nobody knows me. I thought we were big in Japan.
One guy recognized us at the airport, which is usually a good, consistent place. That's good. That was on the first day. But, we had a couple people in Japan recognize us. That was nice.
That's cool.
And, we have lots of fans in the States, which we love and appreciate. We got lots. Yeah. But yeah,
it is funny though. We are kind of like, I liken us to Siskel and Ebert a lot in that when we're separate, nobody recognizes us. If we're walking together,
I get recognized.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah. But we actually had a really nice couple in from Australia today visiting. They went all through the States, and then they came to Calgary to go do the mountains, and they came in the store and they're like, "Wow, it's just so great to meet you guys," and they were really happy. And
generally we have awesome fans.
Yeah, and they come to the store a lot.
We don't get that much venom from people, which is awesome. Yeah.
Just the anonymous ones.
Just the anonymous.
I mean, do you have the crazy trolls like some other YouTubers have, and they always talk about? I mean, you have that too as well.
Oh God, yeah. It's gotten to the point though where I'll come into Chris and I'll be like, "This is awesome! Look what he said."
Yeah, there's some pretty funny stuff. But there's many times where I want to engage these people and get into it with them, and Jordan's like, "No,
you can't. Nope, stop. Nope.
Yep. No, it's very difficult sometimes."
Yeah.
Wow. It's funny. I mean, I don't know if you guys watch the other channels. I mean, you have a nice relationship, it looks like, with the Northropes, and they have a really great channel. And who all have you met with the different YouTube channels?
Pretty much everyone except Jared Poland at this point.
Yeah, we haven't met Jared Poland. We ran into Kai from Digital Rev when he was still working there. And
I haven't met Locke yet, but we have kind of a Twitter relationship.
Yeah, and we've the Northropes, Mac Ranger. We've run into like Photorec Toby and all the guys from.
Yeah, we have an interview with him coming up actually.
Yeah,
as well.
He's a good guy.
Gary Fong and Gordon Lang from Camera Lab.
Yeah, Gordon Lang's
more name drops. More name drops.
That's all. I think you.
No.
And we really love Scott Robert Lim as well. Have you met him? Great guy.
Yeah. Resource we know well. We talk to the F-Stopper guys once in a while. I haven't met them though.
Jason Lanier?
Jason Lanier.
We have been in the same room as Jason Lanier.
He called us out incorrectly in one of his videos in response to the Sony A6300 overheating and the 6100 being kind of cured of that. He called us.
I have a fragile ego, so I'll be totally ready to hang out with Jason in like a year. But for the time being, I'm still a little.
I'm okay because he's totally wrong.
The wound is still so fresh.
Well, I have to tell you guys, and this is funny, from personal experience, we did a workshop with him at Photo Plus last year, and he's definitely way calmer and sweeter in person, and I was fully expecting...
Too nice, Too nice.
I was fully expecting, like I kind of had my issues with some of just like the stuff I was watching, like the way he would refer to his models, like, "Hey, sweetie, hey, baby." I'm like, oh, man, like, it drove me insane. But then when I met him, I'm like, yeah, it didn't add up, kind of like the in-person. So I don't know if maybe...
I hear about that a lot.
It's funny. I mean, maybe some YouTubers... I'm sure a lot of YouTubers do put on, like, a persona.
Right, sure.
For the most part, though, in photography, they don't. I mean, they pretty much are the same. Like,
yeah.
The Northropes are
exactly
just
who
as
they...
sweet and charming in person as they are.
Kai was pretty different from what I was expecting, honestly. But but generally speaking, yeah. I mean,
swore a lot, though.
Yeah. But generally, people are pretty close to what they project online. But there are some times you run into somebody and you're kind of surprised by that. So we'll give them another chance.
I'm less nice in person than I am.
You are legitimately a less nice person. Absolutely.
See, again, you guys are hilarious. Do you like? What do you have any thoughts on the angry photographer?
Oh man, makes me angry. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, that's to me. That's a no comment situation.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, he's
he's kind of like bizarrely entertaining sometimes if you watch him with a lot of grain of salt.
Yeah, a lot of salt, like a whole bag of salt.
My thing is, it's very, it's kind of a risk to throw as much of your work out there in terms of like, my video production and Chris's own photography and stuff like that. And we'll get a lot of flack for that. All the time we're like, great camera, but you took crappy photos with it or whatever, or like Jordan doesn't know how to grade or whatever.
Yeah, the color's terrible. I mean,
anyone who throws a lot of opinions around without taking that risk to put their work forward, I always find it's the same in absolutely, any artistic medium. Someone who, has a lot of opinions about music or whatever, but has never tried to create it, stuff like that.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot, and so that kind of throws us off, And I think he's got a shtick where he likes to, I don't know, attack the man, right?
Right.
Like, I'm here on your side, regular people. I'm one of you, blah blah blah. But I mean, really, all we're trying to do is talk about the gear, let people know if it's a good product for them or not, try to inform them, and it takes a lot of work. It's a lot easier just to be like, the manufacturers, they're all big corporate, blah blah blah. Don't listen to them. You don't need that. You can buy this $200 used lens, do the same thing. Yep. But for us, we're trying to say no. I mean, people look, you're going to spend money. You want it to be a good product, so
and we appreciate that. Yeah,
and absolutely. That's why we love to do it.
Yeah, and it's really tough to quantify. I mean, it's easy to take anything. You can get a good picture from almost any camera these days. But if something's rubbing you the wrong way, a lot of the time it's hours of finding a way to convey that to the audience that's quite difficult, as opposed to just saying, it's garbage.
Yeah, I did say the Hasselblad X1D was not a great camera, and then he was all over that. He's like, these guys, they know what they're talking about. So that's the other thing. He flips on us quite a bit, but that's okay.
I mean, it's interesting that YouTube has its own, these personalities all over the place, and
it's such a weirdly small world, is what we keep finding out, all the time.
And I will say, like, there's a lot of people who do try to get views, and I totally understand it. You got to find your hook or whatever. And I think Jordan and I, one of the best things that we decided to do on our show is we never really tried to get views.
Yeah, in terms of like clickbaity headlines or something like that.
We're really happy that we have so many supporters, but we really tried to make it just, we're going to say what we say, and if people like it, great. If not, oh well.
Yeah, generally I kind of want to get across our thoughts on the camera, but I also want to make our show something that I would watch. And I don't tend to go for, the over the top, someone putting on a persona kind of stuff.
Hence the distinct lack of female models in swimsuits while we misogynist 60s jargon towards them.
Yes.
Right. And you know what? We appreciate that because it comes through. Like, one thing, as a true artist, the side effect of being a great artist is the fame and being recognized for what you're doing. And so you guys are getting the side effect for doing a fabulous, fantastic job at what you're doing. I mean, first of all, I can't imagine anyone saying anything, Jordan, about your videography. I think it's phenomenal. I think your photography is phenomenal. I think when people say something, I think there's a lot of jealousy, and I think it's literally just, that's the way they,
I mean, you're my new favorite person.
I'm just being honest. I mean, I really feel like it's true. I mean, when you have fame, true fame, it's just a side effect of being awesome at what you do. It's just the truth.
As soon as we get some of that fame, we will.
That true fame, yeah.
We will let you know what it is.
But the funny thing is, in the YouTube world, you guys are totally YouTube famous. I mean, do you realize that yet?
No, not yet.
You are.
As soon as they get a YouTube space in Calgary, then, and they know us on a first name basis, then it might.
I don't have a Wikipedia page yet. That'll be my.
Yeah, someone make us Wikipedia page.
I'm not going to make myself. That's just sad.
That's so narcissistic. No, we can't do
Eileen,
that.
what are you doing later tonight?
All right, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Yeah, because seriously.
We do appreciate it. I mean, probably one of the most amazing things is how often. I mean, it's great YouTube. You get comments and stuff, and we're happy that our likes versus dislikes are always proportionally
really good.
But yeah, just when we meet people in the store and they come in, or we meet people traveling, I mean, everybody's been really, really kind to us, and it's incredible how global YouTube reaches. You kind of take that for granted, and then you're in a foreign country and people are like, like, this is so amazing, I can't believe I'm meeting you, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And I mean, meeting people like you and getting to do these talks and stuff, I mean, this is what we really enjoy doing.
Right.
So yeah, that's the big one.
Well, and the fact that you guys, I mean, you know, we're so small in the YouTube world, and the fact that you guys respond to people and, you know, your fans and everything, that's huge. I mean, a lot of people, you know, they won't even take that time, and I'm so grateful for the time that's taken, because you guys have busy schedules. You just got back from Japan and you made time this evening, so I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think a big part of that too is it's just built in us, because when you work at the store, which we do, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, you guys actually work at the store.
I was going to ask you that. I mean, is it getting to a point where you might have to not work at the store? I mean...
Oh, no, I don't. Our bosses will never allow it. Never allow it. Yeah, we are not independent contractors, that's for sure. But, you know, it's you're talking about cameras all day. You're helping people with stuff all day, questions, you know, is this the right thing for me? How can I make my skills better? So I guess to then go online and ignore people when they ask you the same things, we just can't do it. So
yeah,
we do try to get back to everybody. It can be difficult, but
yeah,
we try.
But I mean, we've been in that situation as well when we were a much smaller channel.
Yeah, and we were asking for help, or trying to get a leg up. So
and there are a few YouTubers out there who, you know,
helped us.
We're pretty good on the early days.
Yeah, stuff. Yeah, it was good. So yeah, we try to keep it that way.
That's so awesome. I'd love to meet you guys in person someday. Are you coming to New York for Photo Plus?
No.
Not for Photo Plus.
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
But we've been to New York a lot of times. I mean, we're probably going to be there again.
Yeah, I would guess. I mean, there's so many headquarters out there and stuff like that. So absolutely. And the one thing that we're trying to do more and more is just throw on social media whereabouts we are.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We weren't able to meet up with people in Japan. Our schedule was so tight. But yeah, most of the time we are really trying to make it so if you're local. You know, one of the best experiences we ever had is when we came into Miami, a local photographer, Peter Vaughan, just took us around to his favorite places.
Thanks,
to
Peter.
Shoot. So stuff like that is exactly what we want.
Yeah, we met up with some fans in Germany as well from Protokina, and we went out and shot with them and stuff. I mean, it's all cool stuff. So, you know, not just the YouTubers. It's nice to meet the people who are watching the show, and we'll be in New York again.
Absolutely, that's great. I mean, do you guys have a favorite camera of all time that you've? That's probably hard for you guys, but.
I am so obsessed with the GH5 right now.
Yeah.
It's like my new relationship. So at this point, you know, I've forgotten about all those old.
It's honeymoon. It's exciting.
It's so honeymoon right now. Yeah.
I really like the GH5 too. I shoot a lot of Panasonic as a storyteller, and but yeah, the GH5 is fantastic. I still think it's ugly, but we shot it in Japan. We're using Fuji cameras, which I like, but they're not my favorite. And then we went over the GH5 for the last part of it, and I just love that camera. I love shooting it. I love the way it focuses.
Yeah.
The image quality is great. I've always used Micro Four Thirds, so I understand it's worse than everybody else. I don't care. And it handles well. The battery life is great, and it just feels good. It's just ugly.
Yeah.
But I love that camera currently.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite lens that you use? It's just your go-to if you had one lens to pick?
Well, it's funny, and I mean, kind of back to cameras, like it is strange dynamic because we're always using a new camera every week, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. You don't ever really get to get used to a camera and fall in love with it. I did used to shoot a lot of Nikon DSLRs, and I do love them, but I'm mirrorless completely now.
Yeah.
But so it's interesting. Just want to put that out. You know, it's hard to get a favorite camera because we're always learning a new product.
Yeah.
But for lenses, I typically really like the 85mm focal length.
Yeah.
Regardless of what
Me
camera
too.
it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to do travel with some compression. I thought it was a really interesting experiment for Chris to just shoot 85mm in Thailand. Like, travel is when I'm like, I gotta have my wide angle.
Yeah.
And to just see how the 85 could actually really capture an environment with those smaller details and stuff, I found really interesting.
Yeah, force yourself to shoot just one focal length and not a normal.
Yeah.
But 85 and then 28 would be my next choice. If I had those two lenses, I'd be pretty happy if that was all I could get.
The two that kind of jump into my mind, one is funny because the reason I shot Canon for a long time was specifically for their 135 f2, which I always felt was one of the great undersung focal lengths. Great lens, reasonable, stuff like that. But now, I mean, to be honest, I shoot 90% of our show on a Sigma 1835. I think it's probably the best crop lens ever made. And with the GH5 now, having the Super 35 support with a speed booster, before that we used it on FS7s, FS5s. Those are the focal lengths I like to work with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say a 28mm equivalent is my favorite focal length for video. So
yeah,
I get it
it's
nice
funny.
and bright.
I mean, video and stills, you'd think, oh, you can use the same lenses, whatever, but no, it actually, you do tend to frame things and tell a story differently. Generally speaking, I would say most people probably go to those wider focal lengths for video.
Yeah, and I think with video, you see so many people falling into the, I think Stallman coined it the bokeh crutch, where they're just like,
right, they're just looking for that.
Yeah, they're just like throw 100mm on at f2, knock it totally out of focus. But I always really like context in the video. You'll find very rarely do I use extremely shallow depth of field. Usually, you can tell where Chris is, unless we're shooting like in December in Calgary and it's nothing but gross grayness around you, and then I'm like 1.8, 1.8. And it's nice that the Sigma can do that with those wider focal lengths.
Now, what about your careers, like in photography and videography? Have you done a lot of different projects, or do you have photographic goals in mind?
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, I freelance once in a while, but a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now,
2 years ago, you mean?
I did a short film, which I really enjoyed being a cinematographer on that.
Cool.
So it's funny, actually, on my way here, my wife drove, and I was on the phone with a director. I'm going to be doing something with him. Smaller scale, but I got into video for filmmaking, so I'd like to keep one toe dipped into that world. But always smaller scale. I have no patience for big, expensive sets where, it's someone's job to move the C-stand. I can move the C-stand. I really like the freedom to, small crew make decisions quickly and move fast. So I'd like to do that. Chris and I have talked about doing a Joe Swanberg style mumblecore movie for a long time. So
and
we'll
we
see.
try to do our wooden nickels and things like that too.
And I love the wooden nickels, because then I get to again talk to cinematographers I respect, or light and shoot a scene myself. Yeah.
I was actually getting to a point where working at the store all day long, selling cameras all day long, talking about photography all day long, I didn't want to take photos anymore.
Makes sense.
I do teach photography for many, many years now, a lot. So again, when I go after work, I'm telling people about photography again. So actually the show was good because in recent years, I've kind of gotten back into it where the show keeps me shooting on a regular basis. But yeah, I have a lot of other hobbies outside of photography. So.
Well, that's important because I brought this up in a couple other interviews because it's so true. I'm a music teacher and I'm an opera singer, and that's what I do first and foremost. So I teach all day long, voice to all ages, and so it's hilarious. I find myself not practicing recently. I find myself on the cameras. That is my outlet. I'm on the photography channels rather than, listening to my French, that I have a Washington National Opera audition coming up and I need to be working on my French. And I'm like, nope, I need an outlet. So it's always good to have that creative other outlet,
Other things, yeah. So I'm happy that keeps me shooting. But,
I should do other things.
You should do other things. Yeah, Jordan has no other hobbies. So, he drums. He's a drummer. But that's it's important to get to do other things. So yeah, it means that photography for us, videography for us, although we try to do it on the side, sometimes the last thing you want to do, I'm sure the last thing Jordan wants to do is edit.
Right.
Yeah, the backlog's pretty spectacular right now.
I liked your video that you did shoot for the A9 event for the Northrops. That was very enjoyable.
Yeah, stuff like that I find, like just that little change of pace, I think is, again, that was something where Chris and I have such a rhythm and everything like that. It was really interesting to work with other people where you don't have that shorthand.
He cheated on
where I'd be like, I just raised my eyebrow. Why aren't you guys talking right now? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's my shorthand with Chris. Or I'm rolling the camera right now, and I need to say I'm rolling to them. Or they just start talking, and I wasn't totally set up in the shot yet.
He just looks at me, and sometimes he'll point his finger at me or shake it.
We just have that twins thing going on right now, where we don't need to say anything to each other. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Of course, it's also nice to work with people where you don't have the comfortable relationship where you can swear and yell at each other and say hateful things during filming.
Yeah.
Still respect and politeness.
That's
probably refreshing.
That spouse relationship where you can just be like, I didn't mean that. You know I didn't mean that. It was the middle of a shoot.
How many times did Tony swear at you?
couple.
Really?
I don't know.
Never mind.
No.
He seems like such a nice guy.
He's pretty civil.
See, it's this dynamic that we appreciate. I love your best and worst gear videos at the end of the year. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. I mean, when you started playing Operation, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best ever.
Yeah,
we need to. I don't know, Eileen. We need to find a game that Jordan can win. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be.
Yeah.
Scrabble.
It's got to be a game of chance at this point.
Yeah, you're pretty good at Scrabble.
I'm pretty good at Scrabble. You're pretty good at Scrabble too. Yeah.
Yeah, where I'll definitely lose.
I'll figure something out.
Yeah,
I still think game of chance with no talent required whatsoever. Like we just roll a dice for highest number for an entire night. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no skill required whatsoever. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll just roll dice. Okay, yeah, we'll roll dice. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this year. That'll be so fun. Do you guys do you have any photographer or videographer that you'd be starstruck over, like an absolute idol?
I mean, I had that happen at the store once. My favorite cinematographer, Lubeski, who's I think he just won 4 cinematography Oscars, and I walked into the store while he was shooting The Revenant, and I just cowered like a child, and I'm so ashamed of myself. I had one of his movies in my bag, and I could have got him to sign it, and no, I just totally caved. So, that would be mine. I don't know, for YouTube specifically, we've kind of met all the people that I regularly watch, honestly. On the video side, I mean, I've had curry with Philip Bloom. I don't know who else is left, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is cool to meet new people all the time. Like, there's quite a few up-and-coming guys. But, in terms of the big ones, we've kind of gotten to know all of them on the photo side. So
we had a really great interview with Manny Ortiz. Have you met him yet?
Yeah, actually, I just met him for the first time at the A9 event that you weren't at. Nice. Man, he's a big sweetheart. I really like him.
Really nice guy. Really great guy. Just down to earth, as you guys are. I mean, so were you guys instant friends, like, when you met?
Friends? Are we friends even now?
Yeah, totally. No, we got along fairly well because we were both big movie snobs right off the get-go.
Okay.
So.
Jordan and I are honestly more akin to an old couple, married couple, than we are anything else. Like, our families are very close. Yeah. But for us, working together, sometimes you just get on each other's nerves and you just stay together for the child. And in and out, just like, let's get through this for the baby. So, but no, absolutely. There's a deep understanding.
There's still a spark there, don't worry.
Yeah, there's a spark. There's a strong connection.
Any full-out brawls?
No, I mean, like anything where you work full-time with somebody. I mean, the thing is, you have to understand, we work together at the store full-time. Then on all of our days off, we work together shooting the show full-time. And then when we do have spare time, we're usually together as families with our wives and kids together.
Our wives are very good friends.
They're very good friends. So we basically...
That works out really well, because that could probably be difficult if they, were upset with that, taking time away from the family, I guess.
Oh, they're still very upset, but at least they have each other. Yeah.
We usually see, and we work with our wives at the camera store too. So, I mean, we're just always around everybody all the time. So, you have to really, you have to have an interesting dynamic.
There's no hiding from each other.
No hiding from each other. No, that's it. Yeah. So sometimes we'll be having a rough day or whatever, but you just make it work. You get through it. It works well. Yep.
Well, it definitely comes across that way. So. Well, guys, I really appreciate this so much, and thank you. Really, I want to check up on you guys in a couple months if that's all right with you.
Anytime.
See what you guys have been up to, and really, it's been so fun talking with you. I'm again, thank you because you answered an email from just small little YouTuber over here.
No, that's what we do. I'm excited. I'm sending $50,000 to Nigeria. It's going to be huge. Yeah. So we get a place in LA, and we're going to be we'll get a place in New York too. It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great. Yeah, we'll be able to really take this channel to the next level. But I mean, it is great to constantly interact with people like yourself. Yeah. That's the biggest perk of this job, honestly. So we always look forward to this.
True. Yeah, you've been very gracious. Thank you very much, Eileen.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And you guys have a wonderful evening, and just keep doing what you're doing. You're spectacular at it.
All right. Yeah, we'll keep doing it.
Keep doing what we're doing, drinking Japanese whiskey.
And as soon as this feed's over, we're going to fight.
Yes. Yes. Thanks so much. Take care, everybody.
Bye.